I think it's already decided.
I will mention again, and I know Ken has sent this on our thing several times. Is anybody interested in taking on that legislative committee Ken serves on?
I did.
I'm interested.
Yeah, I did.
I wish I did.
I will say it is
Okay.
good. It is very valuable.
If you have the time.
No, and I'm not saying
Having a
that just because somebody,
representative
I think Jay,
I think you take it seriously. You learn a lot from people who've been council members for 20, 30 years.
You guys want to start?
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to put that bug out there.
Thank
I'm not
you.
asking for an answer today. I just know that's a valuable position.
It is very valuable.
And we have a voice in that.
And networking is very valuable in that.
There's some very good shakers, movers and shakers on that
Oh.
committee across the state.
Probably the best
So if
in
you
the
have
council.
time, that would be nice. I mean, I would do it, sharing with the people, it's a full-time job, so it makes it tougher on us.
That's one reason why I think I was there.
We'll get it. I didn't want to.
Right, thank you.
Hey,
But
just
yeah, so if you're considering it, do it.
get with me,
Yeah,
Jay.
if you're ready for it.
I'll Q&A.
So they're connected.
All right, we're on.
I have to use the microphone.
Yeah. I don't
I believe
see,
Well, they've got their mic and their camera off.
they won't show up until they talk or
Ask
something.
Judge with them if he's.
Judge Wisham, Judge Witham, are you there? Hello?
The salary's 26.
I don't hear anybody. Love technology.
Hang on one second. Who's chatting?
Okay, we're figuring it out if you guys can hear us.
He's sending me the, current one, so I can go to the. The names on there, by the page.
Hey Jeff, can you see and hear us?
I can see you now. Hi, Judge Witham. I see Susan, or a piece of Susan. anyhow. Good morning, Susan.
It's your right side.
Can you guys hear us? I'm guessing you can't hear us. Yeah. Can you guys hear us? I don't know if I have the judges.
He's texting.
What we have here.
Yes,
Good morning. Can you guys hear us?
I cannot hear anything through the Zoom.
Okay. We're trying to everything looks good on our end. I could leave you on speaker on my cell phone if you want to go that route.
Yeah, that's fine. If it's not showing up on there, that's fine.
Okay. Oh, shoot. I hit the button. Out of habit, I hung
Hello?
up. Sorry, out of habit, I hung up when I went to set the phone down.
Okay. Yeah,
It's a morning. You know how that goes. All right, so I'm going to leave the mic live and kind of sit the phone right under the mic. And then, so we'll just have to share these mics, guys. And so we might get a slight delay according to Jeff, but we'll make this work.
Okay,
So
thank you.
which budget would you guys like to start with?
We'll start with probation.
Okay. Probation is 235, Fund 235, guys. Yep.
My only question is Ashby.
I'm sorry,
My only question was Ashby,
Ashby. Is that one?
1000-15.
Because they lost the grant.
That answers that.
I lost about $120,000 grant. That's the reason for the increases in my budget.
Okay, so that means you can't help save at home.
Yeah, is there any other questions? I mean, I'm looking down through here. And there really wasn't a lot of changes other than that. Susan, was there?
I did increase some line items, office supplies, some of those kind of things, but the increase was way under what the amount of the grant was. But in order to be able to operate my office with 13 people, I've got to have some money from you guys since I lost that grant. I've still got quite a few grants coming in that offsets the other things, but and also as far as my budget currently, where it shows I have not spent money, that's because I've been using what grant money I could first. So those other line items for this year will be spent down the rest of this year.
Can I ask the source of the grant you lost? Was it state, federal?
Hang on one second. Chad, I'm able to hear you now. Are you able to hear me? Not on the phone?
Yes, but I'm having to speak pretty loudly on our mics.
Hang on, I'm gonna mute you. I don't know that we are able to. Say it again.
Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes,
Okay. I think we're good then.
we may need
I'll
to
shut-
turn it up a little bit. Anybody know?
Send them back.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
what
turn-
was the source of the grant lost?
It was a JRAC grant through the Department of Corrections. It's my understanding all probation departments were cut across the state. I think that had something to do with the governor's cuts.
Okay. Federal government to the state
Yeah,
Department of Corrections. That's the same as the USDA to whatever grant Safe at Home lost.
Along with community corrections and drug court. They all lost theirs too.
yeah. Okay, does anyone have any other questions for Susan on hers? She have another fund? That's gonna say she has another fund. I can't remember the number.
2,000, the adult probation services.
Yeah,
Flat.
yeah, I don't remember seeing anything odd in that one, but I always like to look at them. Bobby, do you know how to turn this up a little bit? They can hear us now, but we can barely hear them. The volume's pretty low. Sorry, guys, technology's awesome when it works. All right, does anybody have any other questions for Susan as far as probation goes?
No.
All right. So-
Can you guys say something for us so we can check the volume?
Yes. Is that better?
A little better.
Little.
I've got it up as far as I can get it.
Yeah, it's still pretty low compared to normal though, so.
do anything over here.
Jess, because they're saying Jess on this way.
Okay, good. Then I'll
But-
allow you to-
All right, so if we, are you we're ready to look at, the courts then. 232 court budget.
Pauper attorney, what, the increase?
The increase is due to the fact that Judge Crane and Judge McCord are both very happy with Mr. Capofari, who's doing that work. So they've wanted to enter into a contract with him for 2 years, so we'll get them tied into 2 years. So that's why there's the increase in that. And Judge Crane and Judge McCord both said they'd be glad to talk to you if you have any questions about that.
Also, remember on the courts, the two court reporters are removed because we pay for them out of judicial lit.
Yeah.
So you can remove those salaries out of there.
Which two?
The two court reporters.
Yeah, so that is 1,000.12, the special court reporter? No,
32.
no,
The
230.
0.01, the 1,000.01,
The top one.
top
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
You said there's two?
Sorry, they've already removed them. I didn't
Okay, never
realize they
mind.
did when they put the numbers in.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my fault.
So that
Okay,
one
so we do
stays?
need to leave the 1,000.01. Okay, I was gonna say, I thought,
I thought they were good.
Okay, do we lose it or not, the top line?
no,
Keep it.
keeps it in there. It is not, it's not in the other budget.
What's the one that they always ask for that we refuse?
It's the judicial supplement. It's line
15,000?
That, that's always the question.
Are we going to be consistent?
We have always unfortunately had to cut it and we're only cutting about 1.5 million right now, Judge, so.
The only thing I want to say about that is, I know a lot of times you guys will talk to surrounding counties or you'll hire someone to talk to surrounding counties. So I went ahead and did that work, so you didn't have to pay to do that, have them do it. Of our surrounding counties, the only two that do not pay it are Fayette and Rush. Delaware pays it to 2 of their 4 judges, the 2 longest serving. My understanding is both those judges are going to retire at the end of this year. So Delaware County, I don't believe will be paying any supplement either. Talked to a couple of others that are kind of in this area. Franklin County pays the full 5,000. Blackford does not pay it. Union, Jay, Grant, Dearborn's the only other one I talked to, and Shelby, the only ones I talked to who do pay it. I just want to put that on the record for you. But I understand.
Thanks for your research.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
What Chad was saying is we have to cut $1 million and we're not 10% there yet, 5% there,
1%.
thanks to the state.
I understand.
Same people that you lost your grant over.
So
I
what's
understand.
are we gonna do our norm and cut that, guys, gal?
I would.
OG Bobby?
I like consistency. And it's not personal. It's never been personal.
No, it's just the unfortunate reality we live in. Okay, so we are going to zero that out. Okay. Any other questions for the judge in this budget? I mean, you do technically have the judicial lit, but I don't even know if there's a reason to look at that because it's just got the salaries, but happy to if you'd like to.
No, the only other question I had was on that circuit 2 and 3 with their PD contract.
Yeah,
That's about the only other change. I don't think I increased anything for psych exams. We've spent quite a bit already this year. I think I've done 3 in the last 2 months. We don't have much control over that. If the attorneys request it, then 99% of the time, we're going to have to do it.
the only other question I had was, and they made a note of equipment repair. You threw $8,300 in equipment repair on there this year, and that was a 0 line item last year.
Equipment maintenance though was an $8,000 item and it went to
Yeah,
zero.
so did you switch those lines or was there?
Yes, that probably is what it is.
Okay, that's what I figured. I just, wasn't sure because wanted to ask. I didn't know if there was a specific reason we needed to do something different, but. Okay,
No, I think that's what happened.
all right, perfect. It's easy to do on those forms. Any other questions for the judge or Susan while we have them? I think I understand what you're saying about the pauper attorney, and I mean, it's something we absolutely have to have, and the increase was reasonable comparative to the last year's number.
Would it make sense for us to move that to the other line so we can track that yearly expense?
I probably wouldn't be a bad idea to shift that back since it's always been under computer maintenance or equipment maintenance instead of equipment repair. Do you have an issue with that? Judge, putting that back to,
No, no issue.
so could we just, we'll zero out the 3000.04 and put it back to the 3000.05? Just so we can keep that historical data, because I like to have the whole historical data. I completely agree with that, Jay. So. All right, so basically the only thing we did was cut 15,000 out of the judicial supplement.
I do have a question.
Go ahead.
We discussed yesterday about that state program. I sent you an email about that. I had been getting questions back in 2024. I'm digging through my emails again, but there's a state program. Is that directly related to the pauper attorney?
That is a program that would be related to that. Now, I will tell you that I've had that discussion with Judge Crane and Judge McCord, and they are of the opinion that if we were to include them, the level 6 felonies and misdemeanors, they think it would probably cost more because there's definitely additional staff that would have to be hired because they have to meet certain caseloads. I think the state has gotten a little better. It concerns me now. I think they had gotten better as far as making sure those reimbursements were paid. I don't know what's going to happen the way they're cutting stuff now, whether that's going to affect that or not. They also are very happy with the services that they're currently receiving. So that's why they wanted to stay with it. And also why they wanted to make sure Mr. Capofari was there for at least the next 2 years.
Is that part of the public defender state
Yes.
program, 40% that we've talked to you about before?
I think that's what Shannon's talking about. Yes.
It is, yes, and that's the one we discussed yesterday, that we're one of a very few counties that do not participate in that program.
I don't know about that. I know several judges that are not participating in that program from other counties. But like I said, with that caseload, I would anticipate you're probably talking about at least 2 additional public defenders. I think they're paid about $50-some thousand a year now. Probably more support staff through the public defender's office as well. One secretary probably wouldn't be able to handle everything. But I will tell you, Judge Crane and Judge McCord both have very strong feelings about that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the judge or Susan? I know there's busy folks, don't want to take their entire day. We don't. So the only change we really made was we switched those 2 lines and we zeroed out that supplemental. Okay. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Well, we have plenty of time before Steve. Is there anything else we need to check off in the interim? I know we still have our budget to talk about. We could do the council budget. That is number 61. Well, I honestly think we're gonna have to just leave that alone for now and no, just 61. Just 61.
Yes.
61 is the council budget. Well, it is the ARPC. That is the question.
You got to give me 24 hours to come up with Corey last year, you asked him that question. You didn't ask me. You asked Corey and he says, you're at the table. You're at the table on things that you would not know about. It's kind of like the ARA. We haven't gotten anything from ARA the past year, but overall we've gotten over $400,000 from ARA, but it wasn't last year. We would have been part of the Brownsfield, but I sat down with Corey and Penny and they'd already had arrangements with a consultant like a month before EIRPC was going to do brownfields. And they'd been successful twice before. And I backed off.
Yeah.
We would have been successful. And we're talking about several $100,000 in brownfields. We're one of 3 counties out of the 5 in EIRPC that was being considered. And I backed off. We were successful. Only 5 counties got that in the whole state of Indiana from EPA. And it was, Henry County was one of them because they had a track record with this consultant. That would have been $400,000 through EIRPC instead of basically the EDC. The Clara Judd, who is the director now, she's like 30 years old, I think. She's quite young, but she's from Fayette County. She just got her Okra grant writing license. That in and of itself is worth a lot of money. And she's putting out grant possibilities all over the place. I only report monthly meetings when there's something relevant to Henry County. I don't do it every month. But it's not hardly any difference than being on the ICCA legislative. The networking is unbelievable. And you always hear something coming up that we can tap into. But since she got her Okra grant writing, she gets information on grants from the state and federal government weekly. And that's something new. She just got that. But I only share with you things that are relevant to Henry County.
My only concern personally is that we've been on it for years and I don't know that we've really gained much from those years of being involved. I mean, the one thing I was involved with, they did some robotics sponsorships to the local school systems. And I think only 1 of our 5 actually took them up on it. And they were literally giving away money through.
I remember that,
And
but that wasn't
so that's
all of EIRPC. That was that schools didn't have that in their curriculum. The state requires so much in their daily curriculum. Adding one more thing is basically the straw that breaks the camel's back. They require a teacher to
Yeah.
facilitate that.
I know that they do the road counting, but that's going to be done whether or not we're a part of
Yeah.
that. We don't.
Most of that was, let's be honest, we did get some road counting, but most of it was done in Wayne County when they did the road counts.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know that we gained much from that.
They did a housing study 4 years ago that was very comprehensive. They've done the road study, which is about to come out. Haven't seen the results of that, but it's a new one for East Central Indiana. They deal with train freight.
I know the housing study, we had already done
Well, this was an updated one.
so, I mean, I mean, we're just looking at everything on the table and.
I agree.
and
I'm just
so-
saying, I think the possibility of it really being fruitful with the Okra connection. I mean, one of the reasons that we've been successful with ARA is because they had a good reputation with Okra. ARA has a wonderful, and now you got a connection with EIRPC. I think it's time that probably ARA and EIRPC would give us more money as far as Okra funds.
And remembering what I remembered, that the grant was going to require that you had collaborative
Regional
efforts.
projects.
Yeah, regional projects, but that's been addressed through what Corey is saying through through the EDC and the collaborative, regional project that they're able to achieve. We've done all of that. We've done several with Ready and things through that with outside of EIRPC. I know EIRPC went after some of those grants, but it was never successful. I don't know if they ever been successful in obtaining an Okra grant. They had not in the time that I worked with them.
Well, I'll just repeat what Corey, we're at the table and able to learn things and network with people. And the fact that she is now an official Okra grant writer with that information, I think it increases our odds of being much more successful henceforth than what we have in the past.
Is Jeff still the legislative
Yes.
liaison for?
And if Jeff were here, he would be far better giving a defense for E EIRPC than I probably am. But if the decision's already been made,
I don't know that decision's been made. I think
Well-
everything's on the table is a question.
well,
I have is we have to cut and we've got to figure out where
Well,
to cut.
I'm one of 7 people. I will vote for continuing it for the reasons I said, but it sounds to me like I'm probably not doing a good job defending it.
I think you are.
It's just,
Oh, nobody's saying you didn't do it. What'd you say about doing a
Not
good job?
Job of defending it.
Oh, of
Yeah.
defense.
I think you are. It's just,
Well,
you know the position we're in. That's the question.
oh, I do. And once again, I'm not sure that the amount, whatever it is, because they do deduct the 3,000 from Geo across the way. It's by population as well. And I'm not sure that
Well,
the
we're-
extension office in Purdue did take the 3,000 off for the population that will not benefit across the road, but ERPC does take the 3,000 off. So we pay a couple $1,000s less probably because they did make that adaptation to our fee.
Their bill is $21,407.
Okay.
That's how much their bill.
I would say in the past, we've not gotten that. I think in the future, the odds of getting that benefit back is probably increased at least twofold. Just my,
Sure. And I appreciate your thoughts.
Bobby
That's-
said on it before, secretary, you have a secretary, I have a secretary.
Yeah, I sat on it as secretary back when I was in the first.
I think more is going on now than probably has in the past from.
They had a lot of ins and outs with folks and involvement and, different positions and,
That's just my thoughts. You asked. That's,
yep. I mean, because really, other than salaries and the reclassification, which we're going to have to set aside for now until we get more settled with the Cume Bridge and that other discussion. Which I understand. I think Steve is going to come for the highway department. So
right.
that would be a good time to kind of cover that.
By the way, that 21,000 is
I'm just,
ARA
I
and
said on I said on it, I question whether or not we have benefit, but here's what I question. We're asking everybody, we just told the judges we would not give them $15,000 in supplement. And we're not willing to cut anything. We're telling everybody else, we have to cut something. And we aren't willing to cut something?
let me finish my thought. The 21,000, 10,000 is ARA, 11,000 of that is EIRPC. ARA, it's all in the same line.
Okay.
We pay 10,000 for ARA and we've gotten over $400,000 in owner occupied rehab throughout the county. There's no doubt that that's gotten returns.
I absolutely agree with that. I didn't realize they were on the same line item.
So we're talking $11,000. So it's up to you. I would be
agree
a
that
no
ARA
vote for
has brought
leaving
us
it.
ARA has brought us a lot,
A lot.
absolutely a lot.
You know, with. the grant
EIRPC, not so
programs
much.
And we didn't know about
The
ARA until our involvement in Stellar.
company that we work with that we.
And that was through networking. That was part of who helped us.
for local-
And we joined them. And we're the only county that's
They do a lot.
in ARA. All the rest of them are municipalities. They've been an exception for us.
Yeah, I remember that when we first signed that contract and they came on board and they have brought in hundreds of thousands, as you said, and those repairs, blight
And
programs.
we're the only member north of I-70. It's pretty much a Southern Indiana entity.
Oh, the ARA, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was together.
I did.
ARA, I'm all on board for ARA.
Okay, so the discussion is on $11,000 and future involvement. And I say future involvement, having us at the table with an Okra certified director is well worth considering at least for another year. And I would say in another year, if we get no benefit, you should definitely give strong consideration to not reapplying or being a member. I would give it a year, given the new leadership in it. And if Jeff Plaster were here, I think he'd do a much more excellent job of giving a defense for it. He's not. I thought we were going to discuss it tomorrow.
Is he still involved? I know he,
He is the rep for Wayne County. And at the state level on the legislative committee, he's the leader of all those subcommittees going into the legislature. He's very articulate, far more than I am.
all right. So what's the thoughts of the group as a whole? I mean, so basically this line item is split into two. It's ARA, which is a $10,000 a year. They've have brought us several grant opportunities,
We've received
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
probably close to $1 million.
Yeah.
Owner occupied grants
We've done it 3
handed down
times.
through Okra 3 times.
Yeah.
So
And each one's been almost 200,000.
Yeah. It's been a very
it's
solid.
been very successful, solid.
The EIRPC is the side I question a little bit because we've paid it for years and I'm not sure we've gotten the return on the
I'm
investment.
not sure in the past we have. I agree with you. We probably have not, but I think the prospect of that improving is pretty substantial.
So are we willing to take I mean, it sounds like you want us to kind of take a chance on them for the next couple of years or next year.
I would give them one more chance, given the new leadership and the fact that she's got connections through Ochre, that she's sending us stuff every week on grants, but not a lot of them so far. She's only had this like 3 months, but the ones so far, I don't think are ones that Henry County would necessarily want to go after. There's tons of federal grants passed down through Ochre, but between ARA and her with her Ochre certification, I think the odds will increase over the next 9 months that something will come down, what will be successful. And we would have been on the Brownsfields, and that's a couple $100,000. But like I said, we backed off, and Corey and the group he's worked with in the past have been successful. And that's the same $400,000 that ARA got for us, plus some more, but I've talked enough.
Worth asking Corey. his
I
thoughts.
just text him.
That's why really, I suggested Corey be here more for that, but I knew it was coming up.
So is,
Than it was.
do we know if the city's going to pay their portion?
No idea on that because it is split between the cities. So
Yeah.
that's,
We
That's-
split it with the city and the county.
they have in
Yeah,
the
but-
past, but I know that they're looking at making some massive cuts from what I
I
understand.
think that's a good question. If they don't, I would say we shouldn't either. But if they're willing to, I would suggest that we give them another year. But if they're not, I wouldn't want to pay the whole thing. We pay a little over half because of our population.
Yeah, I think we do
Same
the
as the
split.
tax council. We're almost half. Well, but there's no other
Nobody
city.
else pays but us.
Middletown has a rep, but I've never seen him. At a meeting, I've never seen him, but
City's gonna.
We won't know until,
you might put that on hold until you hear back from Corey or the city. But I agree with you. If they say they're not interested, that's one of the cuts, then we probably ought to.
I just have a problem telling everybody else we got to cut something and we're not willing to do it. We so easily, even yesterday in a joke, can we cut $1 from your budget? So we said we cut something, but we're not willing to cut anything. That just, in my opinion, looks bad. And I also don't believe that we've gotten the benefit over the last 6 years.
That are not popular.
I understand. I do understand that, but
We're gonna
I,
have to do it regardless.
right, but my personal opinion is we've not gotten the benefit from it. We're not gonna get the benefit in a year. And we're asking everybody else to cut, but if we're not willing to cut something,
We're never gonna get to our $1 million if we don't.
that has historically, we've not gotten any benefit. That's my personal opinion. And I sat on the executive board for 3 years. 2 years. I don't remember, 2 or 3 years.
I suggest you hear back from Corey and or the city would sway me.
When's the city doing their budgets?
Corey says it can be as long as we get local participation. As
Hang on,
long
I
as
gotta
we
check.
get the local elected officials participate,
So he's saying we get out of it what we put into it.
basically.
Sure.
That's the same with legislative.
Sure.
I'm on every Zoom, but he sends it out to 40, he sends it out. 45 people, Rick Ring, who heads up with the legislative committee, and there's never more than 20. But I'm on every one that I can. You get into it, what you'll get out of it, what you put into it. I'm at 90% of the meetings. Susan Hoon's at most of them. It's a city that
Planning to continue.
more infrequent.
What Corey saying?
Corey said you basically you get out of what you put in it.
Mhm.
So as long as the local elected officials participate.
I
then-
participated in every meeting.
I did too, and I don't know
I
that I,
participated in everything.
Didn't get anything.
I mean, there was some opportunities, but they kind of fell through. I mean, they did, back when I was involved in it, we did have the opportunity they went after the grants, the Ochre grant, and were denied. We didn't get it. There was an option to go after that, but again, the way it's split up, we're just a small piece and we're bigger than some counties, but smaller than others in the group.
We're probably in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Randolph may have jumped off. I'm not sure. They were talking about it, David Lincoln Felser.
And then it also, there's involvement from cities, several municipalities are involved as well, because I know the city of Richmond, city of Newcastle,
City of Rushville.
city of Rushville.
I would say Rushville,
Connersville had folks that showed up.
Rushville, Rush County, Fayette. They've got a new person from Union Union County that's very involved.
Yeah.
Jeff Plaster, Wayne is very involved.
Wayne's very involved.
We've been very involved since I've been that. Susan Hoon is the commissioners. She's at least half of them. Like I said, I've never seen the person from Middletown, but well, we probably lingered on enough. Everybody has opinions.
So what's everyone's thoughts? Greg did not get back to me yet.
If you continue it, it's going to depend on the person that you choose to serve on it and their willingness to put in and feedback things that are relevant. And
Okay.
I voiced my opinion. There's no sense in me.
All right. Well, I guess we don't have to make a decision on it right now. We can table and wait to see if we hear back from, and kind of set this aside for a second and wait to see if we hear back from, I just text Jerry Walden to see too if they're planning, because Corey believes it came out of the city's riverboat fund, which is controlled by the council, not the mayor. So, I text Jerry to see if he thinks they were planning to continue, because I think that makes a big difference if we have.
Well, and I
'Cause I think
know
if
that,
I-
I know that right now, I'll say I've heard instead of saying I know, because when you say I know, it's 100%. That they're being very protective right now of their riverboat
Yeah,
funds.
I know the city's budget is gonna,
Yeah, because they
Is-
use that for,
is even more annihilated
Yeah.
than ours, it sounds, from what
Mhm.
I've heard.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
they're gonna have a lot of challenges, and frankly, we're just came out of what I think arguably could have been the worst natural disaster we've had since the 1917 tornado that hit Newcastle. When you look at dollar figures,
Mhm.
maybe not, so I think we're all kind of reeling from that. But yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, the total bill used to be around 17, almost 18,000. Does that sound right, Kenan?
well, they took who? The
The
ERP?
ERPC, the total, not with the city's portion too. it seems like it was up around, Debbie, I think we get the total bill and then you bill them or something, is that right?
What's
Or
it-
they bill us
Last time I was involved, I think they sent a separate bill to the
Did
city. They
It's
sent.
back when we first started in it, because I was actually.
Yeah,
the
the
first
best, it was
person
one bill in
appointed.
the city.
It was one person in the city and
But then they
reimbursed it, but I
split it
think it
up.
was closer to $18,000
Our
total.
portion
No, the
of
total.
the total.
Yeah, because they charge you X cents per resident, and Kenan was right. We negotiated back down with them because they took out the folks across the street, the 3,000 or so across the street.
Because they're in a census.
Yeah, because they are in our census, but they're not actually, they have no,
They reap no
they're
benefit.
not true residents because they're residents of the prison. They're not true residents of the county.
Well, if the figure that's in our budget sheet is correct, 10,000 is ARA and 11,407
Is,
is maybe 11,000's our share.
real Bobby, is that what you've seen the payouts be? We're sticking, this is sticking, guys,
I
right?
won't ever remember that.
On that line item,
What we paid.
3,011, is it 10,000 to ARA and the other to E EIRPC? Is that what the payments have shown historically?
Well, ARA has historically been 10,000.
That's what I remember for
Six
ARA
years we've
too.
been in it, it's been
Because
10,000.
ARA was 10.
IRPC last year was 11,407.
Yeah.
Well, and that's our share.
Yeah, I believe the total bill is pushing 17, 18,000 if I remember correctly.
It could be.
That's what I
Newcastle
remember.
pays
don't really
the
split this.
remainder.
Total
It's
figure with the
10,000.
So that basically the city pays their portion and then we pay the
So it's-
remainder of the county.
Together combined, it's more than this, right? The 21,407.
Well, take
No.
10,000 out, 10,000
So-
is ARA.
So 11,407.
Yeah,
Yeah.
11,407.
And the city pays their portion.
The
thought
city
they
probably
split this.
pays 6,500, give or take.
That's a lot of time on $11,000.
It is. But we have the time right now and, we've got to utilize it when we can. Because we still have 15 minutes, so I don't know.
I texted Rex just to
I don't know
see
why
if,
we-
I don't know if he'll feedback because it has to be a whole council.
Sure. Well, I'm just asking if they're planning to. I'm not saying guarantee, because obviously,
I am too.
same as us, they can't promise us anything because they're one of 7 votes, or well, the mayor can, because he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So why do you have to wait on the city to make,
He apparently doesn't want to attend the ERPC meetings.
can't we?
We could, and then it would be up to the city to, if we decided to opt out, then the city would have to pay the full if they want it.
And they would definitely opt out. They would.
They may opt out.
Yeah, they-
So, but we could, so it's up to us. I mean, would you like us to just make a decision? Is that what you're saying, Mike? I'm happy to do that if that's what you.
I think we should. I mean, I don't know why we would wait for the city. When's the city gonna have their meetings?
Yeah, but the city's budget is totally different because the mayor's
Right,
office
but to
basically
know if
produces.
they're gonna opt out of this or not.
Not until later in the year when they actually have their hearing, because their budget.
I'll guarantee you, if we opt out, the city opts out.
I think so.
Yeah.
We opt out, city opts out. They opt out,
I'll make the motion that we make a decision.
Well, we
today.
can make a consensus, but
we can't make a motion.
Consensus.
we can make,
consensus.
your opinion is that we opt out.
Right.
Okay.
Opt
So
out.
Bobby's an opt out. Shannon,
I can see where they could be, but I
I'm in
don't,
favor of giving it one more year.
okay. Jay, Scott, or she put it on me.
that's the way
Thank
it
you.
works.
Appreciate it.
That's why you vote first.
I always vote by Robert's rules.
I
I'm
know it,
required to vote
I know,
last
I know.
Since we operate under that.
Under quasi
always-
Robert.
I always try to honor that.
He's a made up person, isn't he?
I understand your opinion, Kenan. My problem is we got to cut $1 million, so my option is that we're going to opt out. We've got to cut $1 million and, we've got to do something. And and with the ARA and their ability to do the Okra grants and the EDC having done such a phenomenal job of acquiring those through Ready, I think we have coverage on that side. So that's the reason I'm opting out. Okay.
Line 11 is now 10,000.
So we'll drop $11,407 out of that line.
It's okay.
Thanks for putting me on the hot seat, Mike. All right, guys. Really, the only other thing we have in our budget is this reclassification, which we've already shifted 300,000 of it to the deductibles. We still have the 700,000 that we know will encompass some of that, what we're gonna have to shift over to Coombe Bridge, and then potentially even the cuts that we'll have to make beyond that, which is, this is our cushion. This is the number since we can't go over what we send to the state, we have to build a cushion into our budget, and that's our cushion per se, is the way that was built in there, but I'm afraid it wasn't a big enough cushion. We needed thicker padding compared to these numbers we're getting. All right, so we've got Steve and GIS coming up here. Are they coming or are they jumping on online? They're Zooming? Okay, are they on or, I mean,
Yeah, but they can get them on early.
if you want to, if they're available, I'm not gonna say we couldn't if they're available.
He's in a class with something, school someplace.
Who?
Oh, Steve, is he tied up?
I think he's in school, but he said he was gonna.
All right, well,
I'm
if he
his
doesn't,
liaison,
if
so-
if he doesn't have time, we can wait until his time. If he's busy, we can always wait until his time. If we have the time and we can move forward.
He didn't make any change of that. I got this. What is it? Find a piece of paper.
He didn't make any changes. in-
Surveyor is 6.
Little change,
He,
but I don't remember what it is.
And then he has another fund
that's
too.
his perpetuation.
Yep.
fund. And-
Yeah, he made a change in computer software is the only thing I highlighted on my sheet.
Yeah.
He went from 1,500 to 4,000 on 4,000.04 line.
That's the same as, I think they talked
Number
with
6.
Jeff together. Because their offices is together about replacing a computer.
Yes. Angie's wanting to replace her computer, if I'm correct.
Right.
I would still love it to see us get to a point where we have an IT budget and all of this gets shifted into that
One
IT
budget.
budget. And that way it's managed by someone that not that Jeff doesn't do a great job, but he's also juggling 72 different budgets when he does what he does. And so I think it would make a lot more sense because we've got money shifted in several different locations for that right now in general fund, outside the general fund, and there's just, I think it would make the world simpler and be able to, that Jeff or whoever's in that position, be able to function a lot easier.
So you're questioning that additional 15.
Yeah, that was the only thing that really changed in his budget, besides the built-in increases they did for salaries, which Debbie's already recalculated back out, basically.
Yeah, he didn't really make any changes.
Yeah, no, his plotter maintenance went up slightly, but I'm assuming they went up $100. I'm guessing that's an increase in their service contract or something. That's
Yeah.
very small number. And other than that, it was just minimal. And he lowered some things. Yeah, he lowered the travel and then he moved the travel from the one side and moved it back to the GIS side. So, it's pretty much when I overlooked at his budget, I didn't see much in there, to be honest.
Do you
Didn't
recall
invest Anything in office equipment?
on his perpetuation, what that 45,000 on contractual, I don't recall.
You what, Bobby?
On the,
Oh, okay. Gotcha,
Yeah.
thank you.
What you said?
on his perpetuation, 1202, what that 45,000 is. It's contractual services and that wasn't there before.
Probably for the USI for the corner post.
Yeah, if I remember right, I think that is correct. But that comes out of his perpetuation fund. It doesn't impact the general
Right,
fund.
right.
That comes out of his fees and,
But he's got it, looking at his
Let's move.
Got plat book.
And then his other fund that his supplies come out of is, it's also outside the general fund.
Or the drainage fee,
Yep, the drainage fund. Yeah, so,
and that's only 5,000.
yeah. Oh, goodness, Kirby. The only thing we have done in the past is we have, do we know how much is in his GDI fund? Because I know in the past that we have lowered that in years where we've had to make significant cuts. We've lowered it to 5,000.
We kept it 10, same as what he agreed to
Yeah, but in
last time.
25, we actually did 5. You,
His
You guys-
GDI allocation,
yeah,
it shows 0.
in 25, it's 5.
I must be looking at
Oh.
the wrong.
You're looking,
We did 10,000.
He had an
10,000 last year,
amendment.
25.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
It
skip the
ran
line.
together. Yes. Yes.
So I mean, if we really needed to look for something to, that is pretty decent cushion in that, because it was even less than that in the, I mean, what's he spent out of that this year? Because it's showing it's showing,
My bifocals went.
yeah, it's showing. Yeah, so, I mean, if we want to, if we're looking, you know, like Bobby said, we're trying to find something everywhere, so that would be the one thing you could potentially recommend in this budget. Since he has a healthy balance in that fund.
What all does GDI do? Cover.
We'll have to ask Steve exactly, but again, it's,
Just, you know, if he's gonna have to use it for fixing things that maybe the flood did, if we're gonna have to reallocate it again later.
again, we've only allocated 10 and he's got 170 in there, so. You know, he's got a pretty healthy balance.
Talking about his.
This GPI allocation fund. Hey, there they are. Hey, guys, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. All right, so are you ready to jump in?
Yes.
All right,
go
so
with-
we'll start
go.
on the surveyor fund.
No, I'm just gonna say either one. It don't matter which one to start with, so.
Sure. That's the one where I think most of us are on right now.
Okay.
Looking at it, there's not a whole lot of changes. There was a question about the 4,000.04, but Mike says that you're adding a computer.
Hang on. Yeah, that was for Angie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the computer software line 4,000.04, there's a
Yes.
$2,500 increase.
That's for my computer.
Okay.
A desktop computer.
All right, so just so you understand, we got some challenges this year and we're looking for cuts, Steve. And I know in the past, we've worked with you and reduced that GDI a little bit.
Mhm.
We talked to Real Bobby, and she says that you have 170 plus in that account. And we're looking to see if that's a potential we could lower that again. I know we did it a few years ago to 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
is that something that give us I know you utilize that account, but you haven't used it at all this year. And if we could drop that 5,000 helps.
Okay. No, that's all right.
So that would be okay to drop it
Yeah.
to 5,000?
Yeah, and then in the future, if we bump it back up, that'd be great.
Yeah, we can definitely look at next year and see where the budget's at, put it back in there for next year, and then we'll look at the balance and we'll be able to work with it next year.
Okay.
But yeah, if you could lower that for 5,000, that would definitely help us a little bit.
Okay.
Everybody okay with that? I think everybody.
Yes.
Anybody have any other questions on Steve's surveyor budget?
No.
All right, 1202.
Oh,
This
section
book
four,
needs
yes.
to be, this book needs to be bigger. That is the one thing you have an advantage of there.
Absolutely.
All right, there was a question on this contractual services you put in here
Mm-hmm,
on what it was.
okay.
That's where you, section corners from like QSI.
Oh, yes.
And they've not turned any yet
Yes.
this year, so.
Yeah, we got one contract still coming up with USI on that. I'm still trying to work with United and, one more, can't remember the name of contracts. Depending on, if I sign a contract, depending on their workload is how this works, because this is sort of fill-in work for them during the year. They go out and do my section corner work. I have to do 5% a year. So that's why I try to contact with several of them so we can get that amount done. So doing it, weather depends. Winter, it's hard to get to. So it depends how much they get to how much we're going to take. How much have we allowed for that this year?
45,000.
Yeah, that's okay. 45,000 is what we allowed. It's about 15,000 of contracts, what we contract out, because they don't know how many they can get done in a year's time.
Okay.
Did we not do that this year?
Well, I've done with USI, but if they get busy, there's hard to say how quickly they get to it. There's no set time.
Yeah, they've not turned
The-
any. yet
Yeah,
this
they
year,
haven't turned it in this year.
But they will.
The 2026 budget has $0 in that line item. That's why I asked. And there was
Yeah.
7997 in 2005. I was just curious if we, sorry,
Yeah.
2025. Yeah, not 21 years ago. I just curious if we skipped a year or what we did.
No, it just means they should be bringing a bill in here. They try to finish up their stuff by the end of the year, but with all the rain and everything, this has been one rainy year this year. We've had 28 inches in 3 months in April, May, and June, and that's when they do a lot of their work.
Yeah.
So,
But just so everybody understand, this is out of your fee-based fund and it doesn't affect the general fund at all.
nope, this is all separate.
That's what I want to make sure I put out that this doesn't affect your general fund. This is the fees that you collect.
Right.
To do these very things. So it doesn't
Yes.
impact our general fund.
Yeah,
All right. And same with your drainage fund. I mean, you really didn't change anything in it.
nope. It's
But
run
again,
by-
it's a fee-based fund that has no impact on the general fund.
Right, it's all individual. Yep.
All right. Does anybody have any questions on the 1202 or the drainage fund that he has some of his office supplies in? Is there, that's all the three funds really, and that's everything I remember. Is there anything else you guys want to chat about or questions?
No, not on mine. Angie may have some questions on hers when you go through it.
All right. So hers is, I was gonna, you're in,
It's all.
It's all
kind of
added into
it's all
ours.
together. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. If you got questions, or she may have some. Things.
No,
think-
I don't think anything changed on hers
Okay,
side really.
No, most of the same. I just.
I mean, I saw there was a shift from some of your travel went over to her travel. But that's the only thing I really noticed that affected GIS. There was
Yeah.
a slight
Yeah.
increase in the plotter maintenance, but I'm guessing your service contract just went up. It was like $100.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's went up slightly. So I mean, that was pretty minimal.
Yes, and all of the GIS software and contractual services, that'll come out of IT, so that's not on mine, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers it.
okay.
All right, so basically, the only thing we changed is we dropped 5,000 out of the 006, 4,000.06 GDI allocation. We left 5,000 and dropped 5,000.
And then I think Ruth up to 500 on the
Yeah,
employees
no, that's my longevity.
and longevity. Yeah. Okay.
On the longevity, yeah, well, that's,
Yeah.
that's standard. We have to do that.
Right.
That's,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, we don't.
That's it.
Okay, I think that's it.
All right, guys, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
He's one that historically puts in no raise on the salary, so
Mhm.
he's consistent.
Hey,
We're way ahead. We're knocking stuff.
we've
down.
got $31,000 today.
Better than yesterday.
Yeah.
But
No, yesterday we cut 76. $76,785.
Well, let's be real, 22,000 was a mistake correction.
That's true. No, that was in the park budget that's outside of the.
Oh, that's
general
right,
fund levy.
that's right. That's
That's outside the general fund levy, so it wasn't in the general fund.
900,000 to go.
Why don't we take a 10-minute break or so? Everybody get their coffee or their potty breaks and we'll try to take a
Thank you,
quick.
man. Thanks, man.
are over here. It's pretty important.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to decide the next couple months, make an appointment to the planning commission, because Bobby and I are leaving, and there's been figures pointed towards the retirement people like Mike and or Jay. And Jay already volunteered for something, so by default.
Jay?
I volunteer, Jay.
I think we have consensus here.
Well, I hate to do that. I mean, Jay's gonna take on the legislative thing too. We need to have a discussion. And
We do.
I don't want to make any, I would not want to make any discussions until we have
Oh, yeah, we
the
can't
new
vote.
replacement.
Absolutely. It just,
When you said next
planting a
couple
seed.
months, that's,
you'll
I
need,
would, I think we.
you'll need
with-
4 months to think about this.
It was different this year with not having anybody newly elected come in, but since we will have at least, we'll have
I agree.
2 newly electeds, we need to wait until January to set
Oh, we
the,
can volunteer them.
yeah.
You 5 who are going to still be on, you really need to give some thought to this.
Yeah, we'll need to wait until January.
Can I
to
ask
do-
Jay if he was willing to do that or would consider it?
If I'm gonna do the other, I would prefer not.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I hate to put too much on one person either. That's would be my only concern, because everybody, whether he's retired or not, he's still got a life outside of here.
Well enough that if I'm gonna put something into it, I wanna put something in.
Right.
And I just know how much time I spend in what I do for being the chair of this committee. It ain't
Yeah,
minimum
well,
wage.
absolutely. I will say, Bobby.
You
can-
understand that. You did it for,
Bobby OG can confirm this. It's going to take more time to do the PC right than the legislative committee. The legislative committee is 90% on Teams or Zoom. This, I mean, we've still got an
the
ongoing,
PC involves
well, the data
field
center's still out there,
trips
but
and
pretty
all that
much
stuff.
that's been tied up in or legal, and that's, I think, out of the first step of legal. That's a sticky wicket.
I mean, I know that I would prefer to stay on the RDC if this body continues to allow me to, because I've
Right.
done that for several years.
You and Mr.
So I don't know that I would want to sit on the PC
We don't
myself
want to start without you if you.
because of that connection with the RDC. And
4 months should need to be thinking about
okay.
it. That's probably the most important appointment you'll have.
well, we'll have to you have several, and Bobby, I think, had more liaison appointments than anyone.
They weren't
Yeah.
planning on it.
So there will be a lot of
Want them
holes to fill.
This and come up or.
We're ready when they are.
Okay.
If they've got, we can start at 10:30. It's not a problem.
Up to them.
Okay, it's up to you guys. If you want to come, you guys are more than welcome.
Yeah, Bobby did like I did,
It's
which,
certainly not mandatory.
which she
If
first
not,
got on.
Start early.
She took 9, 10
Is it-
liaisons, and at the end I took 4.
It's a bad habit of losing people in here.
Is it,
I've been cut.
Now, Joe's not opposed, is he? Nobody's running against him.
I'm the
No,
only-
Joe nor Shannon is the only, so we could potentially have 3 new.
Who's running against you?
Angela Mahaffey, Democrat Party Chair.
Angela Mahaffey.
Right here.
Yeah, so we have 3 races, 1 contested. So we could potentially have 3 new, because the setting, I'd say the odds are pretty favorable for Shannon.
They're.
I shouldn't, I mean, it's
And
shut off.
people stop.
There it is.
If you were a Republican.
No, you're not on the internet.
Anybody in there.
You're in Outlook.
Posting
You're
your
not.
picture on there.
Well, that's 75%.
We're at large, so he is 3.
Should I say anybody to do with.
Mike is unopposed in 2.
In other words, me and Tom Saunders.
So he's unopposed in 2. You're 1 and Bobby's 4.
What?
You're 4, right?
I'm what?
4.
District 4.
District 4.
I'm too.
So
Sure.
Joe and
Clint.
Clint are unopposed.
Yeah,
And
Joe
you're,
and Clint are unopposed.
so they will sit into your positions.
What's his first name?
Joe Blackburn?
No, I know Joe.
Clint
Weaver.
Weaver?
Clint. I couldn't think of his first name.
Especially to me in local,
Clint, yeah.
which is more important than ever. And
Joe.
Man.
because I got caught.
Farms.
4 years ago.
Yes, he works for
Or
Duke.
Duke, yeah.
He works for the power
I know
company.
Duke because he came out and fixed my power. when-
He works for the power company.
Drove a straight.
Working against him, and he actually filed a complaint.
They don't have any other funds but 11, right? Real Bobby? I'm gonna make this stick. It's fun.
She is a real Bobby. I'm not.
We're gonna make this stick because it's fun.
I think it's.
I think it's fun too, so I think we
But
should
I'm
make it
older, so
stick.
yeah, I'm the OG.
The OG Bobby.
Yeah. And she spells her name with an E on the end.
She does.
Bobby.
But my text thinks, my
Better than
speech to
Bobby.
text thinks I need to do that for you too. When I text you, every time I text you, it spells it wrong.
Yeah, to me, it's.
I used to work with the girl whose name was actually.
Are they coming?
And this is gonna
I
irritate
called
the
and they,
houses for
Mary said they weren't planning on it, and then
Okay.
I think my call dropped in here, so I sent them both a text message. They could always join by Zoom.
They could join by Zoom, if they would need to. I think we sent a link to all department heads, right?
Okay.
There was something about saying Bobby. and-
I mean, it's not necessary because there's really nothing on their budget to discuss except for
Okay,
that one thing, in my opinion. I don't think there is one other thing we need to clarify,
okay.
but we can talk about that too, but it's, yeah, the one biggie is the question of the hour, so.
I've been, as promised, working, so I brought scenarios.
Okay. All right. So do you want to go ahead and get started then? Ollie,
Comfortable in getting
Okay.
started. I've sent the messages to Missy and Mary, and so, hopefully they can join us by Zoom.
all right.
Oh,
Well,
gosh, Mary's actually at a personal appointment. I feel bad. Okay,
Probably because I took it home, left the room.
Did you shut it down or just?
okay. No, they weren't planning on it, so I'm.
perfect.
joined by-
And we, as far as the way we've opted this, we gave every department an opportunity to decide to join or not. It was totally up to them, their liaisons. And I know Jay met with them and it was a discussion. So it was, it's not a necessity. It's not a requirement for the departments to join. So first off, though, I know we've talked already, but I want to put it out there on the public space that this rumor that Chad is canceling 4-H.
Right, is a misunderstanding. You are not canceling 4-H. We had a conversation about what the implications of the budget could mean and discuss scenarios about what that budget implication could be. And that was misunderstood, so I apologize.
But can I ask a question?
Yes,
Why did you think it was appropriate to send out a mass text to everybody in 4-H? We were getting text messages saying, we've got a text that Molly said the council's canceling 4-H. Why did you think that was an appropriate thing to do?
I did not send out a text message. I contacted 2 Purdue Carrot members. So Purdue Carrot is the Council on Ag Research, Extension and Teaching. They are advocates.
So they did it?
I'm not sure.
Well, somehow it got out to the
Yeah.
masses because State Representative Corey Criswell's phone was blowing up, Debbie's phone was blowing up, other people's phones were blowing up with the message for the council. Actually, I think it said Chad
Said Chad
Malaco
Malaco.
is canceling. So it was the exact verbiage. So it really caused a lot of angst
Yeah.
with a lot of people. And to me, that's whoever did it within your organization, not very professional way to do, especially when you're coming here and trying to get $140,000.
Yep.
And matter of fact, in every conversation I had with you, with Becky, with Justin,
Mhm.
it was always, let's find a way to get this program in place, keep this program in place and make it successful. It was never to cancel it. So,
Right.
that was as far from the truth as could possibly be put out there. But it, as Bobby said, it caused a lot of angst and it shot all the way to the State House. And things, it's going to have implications because of that.
Yeah, that was.
And
that was-
so,
I apologize. That was not the intent. Again, I don't even have a 4-H group chat number for Henry County. Our Purdue Carrot members are advocates for funding at both the federal, state, and local level. So I contacted those 2 Purdue Carrot members and invited them to come with me today to help advocate for Purdue Extension. That's what I reached out for.
Do they intend to be here?
They both said they couldn't due to work obligations, and it was very short notice. It was, yesterday afternoon.
Well, and I guess that's one of my other concerns is I met with Becky and Justin weeks ago.
Yep.
And I expressed the concerns then. No one ever followed up with me. No one, until I called on Monday and asked where we're at, because we have our budget session this week. And we received our numbers, and our numbers are not pretty. You set in on these last few that we did, and we're literally shaving pennies where we can, because we have to cut millions, 7 figures out of our budget in some facet. And so, my understanding is that Becky did take that conversation back to the extension office, but got no response. So I think that's pretty unprofessional way to do it. I mean, I know part of your platform is to be a good community partner, and I'm not sure that's being a great community partner. We basically got shoved a bill that's 156% increase, when my understanding is we're actually cutting some people, we're moving people, we're changing things. So we're gonna have less services for nearly 3 times the cost. That's very illogical way to be a good community partner in that aspect as well. So again, Becky and Justin were gracious enough. They brought it to my attention weeks ago. I met with them. I believe Jay also met with them via the phone, and we both expressed our concerns.
My emails, are you getting my emails?
We got emails, but it wasn't anything to this effect.
Right.
And so it wasn't addressing this, and we got we got the books that you brought to everyone, which is the same thing I saw when Justin and you and I met. And so, it's good, but again, at the end of the day, this is where we're at. So that, as Shannon put it, this is the elephant in the room.
And as the liaison from the council to extension, I think it was poor choice, quite honestly, of extension to take the new person to our community and say, hey, you're new, you're introducing yourself. Oh, by the way, we need you to ask for this $156 or 156% change in cost. I mean, that's just poor planning on extension's part. And sometimes that's driven from levels that are pushed down from above, and I understand that. But to take a person who hasn't even had the opportunity to introduce herself to us, and in that first introduction, is charged with tripling that cost, that's a hard sell.
And that follows up to exactly the conversation Becky and I had earlier in the week, and that, she said she isn't able to make negotiations or doing that. It's like, well, I would strongly suggest you invite the person that is, because that's what we do here. Yeah. Yeah, no, so that's.
And for that initial conversation, she Purdue Extension hasn't even given her the opportunity to start to build relationships yet. And that's not even fair to Becky. That's my personal opinion.
It looks like you're starting on a bad foot. You know what I mean? And probably, I'll say, not to your fault, to these people. So what Jay's saying, they put you in a very bad position. Whoever said, oh, look, you're going to be new here, but now go ask for this huge increase without.
So I have 15 years of experience.
Yes, I have done a little research on you, actually. Yes, because you used to work at Purdue Extension and then you were gone for a little bit.
Yes, due to federal cuts.
Right.
ADP, I
Right.
left
Right. And then now you've came back as the,
community development.
Okay.
And then my passion for extension, I really want extension to go forward. Senior 4-H leader, 25 years in extension homemakers, for generation 4-H. So I wanted to come back, and I was excited for your community, get to know you a little bit better. And so I'm here, and it's also a caveat is the community development. That's an area that I worked 10 years in for Purdue Extension, and I can see that for your community. If you look at the things I did in Fayette County, which I feel like Fayette and Henry are very similar. We both had big, Ford, and you guys had Chrysler, correct? You know, and so I've been through it. I'm resident there, so I understand your struggles and I understand the concerns.
Well, we don't want to make it a gripe session, but to be honest with you, I think we need to air some of this because when it came out yesterday, it certainly blew up. It seemed like you were almost pitting those 4-H families as pawns, forcing our hands. And that was certainly not something that we were going to stand by idly because we care a lot about our 4-H community. I mean, I was the first donor to the 4-H building. You know, this body has done a great job to continue to work with 4-H, and that was the farthest thing from anybody's ever mind. The problem is we don't have the funds to all of a sudden get 156% increase out of the blue. When you come and presented this program to us, it was remembered by members of this body. If the question was brought up, will there be an increase? And it was like, no, there won't be any changes. That didn't come to fruition.
Well, I didn't have a financial model at the time. Like we were just doing that regional like staffing model. We
Yeah.
were not, I didn't have a budget number until basically you guys received it.
And when I talk to other peers, because we do talk to our peers across this county, or this state, and it doesn't even seem to be the equitable number you say when I talk to some of the others and their population and what they're paying and things. So
Okay.
I'd be real curious to see that spreadsheet you were talking about.
Is
I understand what's in the book. I want to see the hard number of the actual fact is what's charged.
what they were paying last
Yeah.
year versus this year.
That's what and you say that spreadsheet exists, so I would love to see that.
Yeah, I'm happy to send that. I will have to like ask for permission first. I understand.
I can FOIA it if I need to. I can get with Joel, our county attorney,
Yeah,
and we
no,
can
no, I
FOIA it.
understand that, but I do have to, like, I have to ask permission.
I understand.
So,
but-
but I'm happy to get you those raw numbers of this is what was 2020
And what was billed.
and this is what was 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
I counted up last night. It was 20 counties that went down, about the 32 that went over 20,000 in their increase. And then everybody else was kind of somewhere in the middle.
We went up 81,000, which is actually 138%.
Yeah.
We can't do that. And Senate Bill 1, we're cutting every line that we can. It's just not feasible.
Right. I appreciate that. Do you guys have any other questions for me or
the
after?
bottom line, I think we need to get to, and again, I think we should wrap up, we should forgive and forget and move forward, because that's what we want to do. We want to move forward. We want to make sure, I think the goal of everybody sitting at this table, including all the folks from the auditor's office, is to ensure that we continue the programming we have as best as we possibly can, that we can afford.
Yep.
And that's where we're at. And so, what I think everything else they have in their budget, I don't have any concerns with, because it's basically SOP. And so when we get down to the contractual services, which is the Purdue Extension contract, it went from $58,823 to $140,000. That is not a number that we can manage up here on this body. So we need to get your feedback. And I know this is what I tasked you with when we talked last night. You were going to talk to your folks back up in Lafayette, I assume, and try to come up with a more equitable number that you can work with and we can make happen.
Yep.
So I think that's where we need to work. We need to start with and see what you've come up with, and then we can kind of arm wrestle from there if we need to.
Yep, I think at the end of the day, we're on the same page. What we all want is to continue to provide services for Henry County, for the youth, for the constituents, everybody that uses our services. So I think, grounding it in that and moving forward from there, I have 3 options. The first is a 3-year step-up plan. So 27, 28, and 29. And so this year's increase and then each subsequent year's increase for the 3-year step-up would be $27,059. Which would put us at, for 2027, $85,882. Which is still quite the stretch and increase. And so, looking at that number and based on our conversation and, you know, I always like to come to budget hearings early to hear, you know, how the other departments are doing too. And you guys are right, everybody's cutting and money's tight. I've shared with Councilman President Malakote that I'm from Blackford County and money's tight there too, so I get it. So I went back to the drawing board. So, you know, option one is this incremental equal 3-year step-up plan. Option two would be 2027 contractual services would be the 85,882. However, there's an elephant in the room that there's potential natural attrition coming without a, at least for us in Purdue, unless somebody writes it down and says, I am retiring on this date, I can't make any personnel or budget assumptions based on that. So not being able to make that assumption in the 2027 budget, what I would instead propose is that if that natural attrition happens, when discussed, which would be April, that money would go back to county general. So that would be 8 months of salary for that position. And I guess I didn't know, is fringe included in that number that I see here, the 43,686? So it would be the fringe and then
So you're saying cut the position completely out of the department, leaving only one person?
Not totally. Not totally. So that would return $29,124 to county general for the remainder of 2027. I would also propose a cut to travel and office supplies. Office supplies, a cut of $1,000, and then travel down to $250, which is nominal, but does contribute back on those lines, a total of $1,250. So that would actually be, if that scenario played out as anticipated, that would actually be a positive return to general of $3,315. So then that would take us to year two. And that second personnel position, after talking about the concerns with everybody regarding the staffing of the office, making sure we maintain excellent customer service, retaining $10,000 of that amount for a part-time person to help fill in so that we don't have those gaps and we maintain that excellent customer services. That would be contractual services then in year two at $119,568. And it would be no net increase because the money is just moving from the second, or not the second deputy position, but whatever that office position is, to contractual services. Happy to pause here.
So we're one person and a temp.
One person in a
Under the
part-time
mic.
person.
So we actually have that all across the state. Randolph County has one
They're a lot
person.
smaller than that.
Yeah, Wayne County has one person. Wayne
So
County,
you can do it. You just expect volunteers to come in and help too then. I mean, I run an office, so that's why I'm asking.
yeah. So one of the strategies we use in that situation is we try to, you know, if there's gonna be a vacant, or not a vacancy, excuse me, a day off where it would result in office closure, we bring in staff to staff the office. We don't have office personnel in Delaware County right now, so we've got educators, office, you know, everybody just kind of filling in to make sure that we maintain that customer service. You know, at the end of the day, we're experiencing similar budget situations and we're just trying to live within the means that we have as well.
How's the 4-H numbers, participants in Henry compare with Randolph and Wayne?
Wayne has the highest number. They used to be 800, and so they're right around 650 on their 4-H numbers. They're probably the highest in the region. I don't have Randolph
550.
Randolph is five.
Oh, Henry is 550.
Okay, so Henry County is 551. And then I don't know Randolph County's.
Fayette is 400. Rush is 389.
So we're on the upper end.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
And last I heard, we're not losing a whole bunch of membership. I mean,
So is that, I'm sorry, Ken,
I was just gonna say, if we're losing, it's because of our facilities more than it is.
No,
No,
has nothing to do with it.
yeah, I think most of the time we find that when kids get into high school and
Yeah, other
middle
sports.
school, that if they choose to do other sports, it's
Frankly, we have more kids than we used to 20 years ago too. I graduated 20 years ago in a class of over 300. My daughter graduated in class 176 from the same high school.
Yeah.
So
When Chrysler was going strong, it was 400 in the early 70s. So
So the 500 number, we have, I was just asking Debbie, we have 500 kids?
551. I just pulled the data from Kelsey, helped me a couple weeks ago, because I was curious.
it's a much higher number than the numbers we've gotten in the
Yeah,
past, I would say.
Kids or projects?
so.
It's a much higher number than the numbers we've gotten in
Your
the
numbers
past.
used to be a lot higher, I guess, years ago, from what I was told.
So I want to see, can you send me that list?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I have it in my book.
And so I pulled the numbers early this morning on the number of contacts we had over the last year. So we had 3,499 contacts in Henry County that were served here directly with a program in the county, not outside of the county.
Yeah, right here.
I think my problem with
35.
option two is
Uh-huh.
we have no guarantee of that
Right.
option because life changes.
Yep.
We are talking nearly 8 months from now. There's a lot of life that could change in 8 months.
Mhm.
And so with not only the person who's potentially deciding to retire, that's not been put in officially in.
Yep, I
And
agree.
actually, it doesn't happen until they literally cash that last paycheck. Your numbers are also skewed in that we have to do payout. So any comp time, any vacation time, any things to that nature
Okay.
has to be paid out. And if they do qualify for a sick time payout, then there's that, that we do have to continue that payout. And so that number is not necessarily 100%
I apologize for
accurate
that.
because, and we frankly won't know those calculations until that person
retire.
makes that determination, because that's when those numbers are calculated. So that is where that number isn't exactly when you get down to the dollars here, the dollars aren't going to be exactly that, just to tell you the truth.
Did you
The
say you
concern
had-
I have with option two is that fact that there is no guarantee, because
Correct.
there's a lot of life that could change in 8 months.
Correct, yes.
And I don't want to force anybody.
did you say you had three options? Option one is stable. It's predictable. Option two, I agree with Chad. And we're all interested in option three.
So option three would be whatever investment you guys are able to make, like in reality of the situation, honoring it and just working with you guys to adjust services accordingly. And so,
Well, I think when I talk to you and I've talked to you pretty much, again, just like we did with the last one you were on with, we understand that there's going to be some changes in the service contracts. Theirs was $100. Okay. I mean,
correct.
so it's small, but percentage wise, it was about 10%.
yes,
If you came back with a 10% increase somewhere, I think I said like $65,000, that's a totally different discussion for us because, that is a more manageable number than $80,000. To come up with $5,000 is a totally more manageable number. I understand your position and I understand where you're at. I've also explained to you that with Purdue Extension, you guys are the unicorn in our room. We can negotiate with every other contract we have out there in the world. If you're the only game in town, you're the dictatorship of this community. It's because we don't have another option. According to you, we couldn't even, if we decided to not renew our contract, we could no longer have 4-H. And so you're the only option. It's not like we can run out here and shop 5 different insurance companies or things of that nature. So, I threw out the number at 65 as a number that I think we could live with, but I don't know where that stands in your world.
yeah, so option three would be a 16,000 $235 increase, which would bring contractual services to 75,058.40. But I mean, not that we want to do the round numbers. Again,
You're asking for 75.
correct.
And then, as I mentioned to you, we have other contracts that we negotiate in this fashion that we don't necessarily, the commissioners do.
Right.
But it sounds like this one's more falling in our world. But they still sign the contract. So this is where we're in an arm wrestle. We fund their contract, but still. What are we looking at for next year if we decide, okay, let's say we agree to your 75?
Yeah.
Are we going to get the bill for 140 or 150? Or like I told you on the phone,
Yeah.
we have no guarantee that the bill next year won't be 250 or 200 or.
The handout Becky provided you guys, and hopefully you had this information. So this funding tier model is good for 2 years to provide some of that anticipation.
So
if
we can change after year 2.
If
So our bill for next year is going to go right back to the same funding model at 140,000.
that that's where I would have to start the conversation at again. And then in year 3, what we do is look at the population and adjust based on population.
Did you adjust down for across the street like the person we just talked about?
Yeah.
That's a range.
Yeah.
That's a range.
It's
no matter-
still being the same.
It's not a per person.
Nope, nope.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
It's a
absolutely.
So you said we'd
70,000.
have to adjust services. Can you tell me, so let's just take the last 2 to 3 years, what services have taken place? Like, I know we don't do the Master Gardener, but what services have taken place here in Henry County besides the 4-H fair? Whether it's, the agricultural certification on spraying and those types of things? What services has taken place and how many people have participated?
So I have 1 year of data. I didn't.
Okay.
3 years if 1
Okay.
year of data is okay.
Uh-huh.
So over the last 12 months between September of 25 to today, like I said, there were 499 people served. And those are the people that are just here. And so I've got kind of some high level data. So if you want to drill down and have
Yeah.
specific questions, I can bring that.
Well, you said served, so define served
They
for me.
participated in an educational program with us.
Is that individualized people or do they?
Yes.
So that's, you're saying that nearly
10% of our
10%
county?
of our population did that?
There could be a repeat.
It could be,
So
it
they
could
could
be
done 5
300
different
people 10
programs.
times,
It's,
or it could be 30 people 100 times.
I would be honest, I would have to get with our evaluation.
Okay.
person to answer that exact
Yeah.
question for you.
because I know that there are several families that have, this kid does this one, and this one, and this one. And so is that one or is that?
No, I mean, each
5.
time a person participates in something, it gets counted as.
So it's not individualized. It's
not.
But if-
it's not
individual people.
individuals.
It's however many
It's
times.
It's
the
the
number
total.
of
Okay, so
total.
that's the number of,
It's not participants.
okay,
It's the number of programs or the number of
Attendees.
attendees.
The number of visits.
Yeah, number of visits.
number of visits. However, if we have something that's like 6 sessions, that gets counted as one person, right? So if they attend unique events, they could be counted multiple times, but if something has 8 sessions or 6 sessions, that's counted.
That
Yeah.
makes,
Oh,
that
yeah.
makes a much
But we
more plausible number.
We don't have a mechanism to provide a participant a unique identifier and then track that person, if that makes sense. We don't say, you come to my program and I assign you a randomized number and then I track how many times you participate in something. We don't have that. So it's just,
I'm sure everybody signs up by their name, so it seems pretty plausible that that could happen, but.
but I'm happy to share some of the programs that have been offered. So we had an Agriculture Institute partnership and program that was reported on 8/13 of 25. We partnered with the Henry County Library and offered a teen STEM program. We did a Master Gardener workshop. We have some grant work. So when we have grant dollars, we do bring them into the community through programming as much as we can. This one's called Discovery Challenge. And so that was a program that we offered 4-H Next Chapter, that really focuses on non-traditional 4-H, kind of those things outside of cows, sows, and plows. They had a painting and propagation workshop, which I think that's kind of like cookies and canvas. Did you attend?
No,
Okay.
I thought it was funny what you said, cookie or plows and
Plows,
cows.
yeah.
Cows, sows, and plows.
Yeah.
We are more than that.
Yeah, so we do chick embryology, which teaches
Yeah.
about the chicken life cycle and like where,
800 kids participate in that.
yeah,
Yeah, that's where Kelsey Myers would take
yep.
to the school.
Brittany, yeah, Brittany did.
So,
that.
Brittany did it too, yeah.
we offered a beginner succession planning workshop. So for those of you in the ag field, we have, you know, a lot of people have kids and they don't want to take over the family farm. We don't want, you know, China buying our farm ground or whatever. So this helps come up with a succession plan for those farm families that might not have someone who wants to take over that ground or that business. We did the PARP and CCH workshop, which provides pesticide applicator credits so people can do that safely. We have many 4-H clubs. We do, volunteer development workshops. So those are for all of our 4-H leaders.
68.
You don't have to read the entire list.
Okay.
But if you could, and I'd be happy to give you my email address, if you
Okay.
could, I'll give it to you afterwards.
So like right now, I know I.
So that, you know, we can get a better feel, because I know you say that you're going to adjust services, define adjust services.
Be my next.
I've learned a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, I didn't realize a lot of this happened. I mean, I just
Yeah.
really didn't, because I've never
Right
been
now,
involved in it.
We have.
But I'm kind of like Bobby. I kind of like to know, because I think the option 2 is probably out with most of us.
Mhm.
Okay.
Option 3, it sounds better, but I'd still like to know what kind of services.
Well, it just sounds like we're kicking the can. It
Yeah,
doesn't
we are.
know
You're
that
gonna-
it sounds
like
better.
You're gonna do away with.
It
some
just sounds like we're
services
kicking the can.
Or adjust services, and you know, I
Yeah,
kind of like to know what that is before we even make a decision on monies.
Yeah, and I don't have like something right in front of me to say, this is, you know, this dollar amount, this specific investment that the county has results in this. I think I would want to work with you guys to say, these are the priority things that we want to make sure happen in county. These
Mhm.
are the events and offerings that we feel comfortable asking our constituents to either attend virtually or travel out of county to, you know, to another.
I don't know that the council can really answer those questions as to what services.
No, and that's exactly
that's
what I
not
told
our-
you on the
that's not
phone
our
yesterday.
job.
When we had this conversation, I told you yesterday that I can't answer that question without pulling in everybody else involved. The only thing I can tell you for certain is that I wanted to make sure we kept our core 4-H, because that is where the bulk of this
Agreed.
lies. Let's be honest. That
We-
is where
we-
the bulk of this lies with our families and the ones that are truly involved. And you said you could not guarantee
Right.
that you could do that, is what you told me on the phone
Yeah,
yesterday.
and so I would love, can I explain that a little
Yeah.
bit, that we can't like sever the programs from one another? And so the way that Purdue Extension works is we have 3 funding lines: federal, state, and county. Federal and state have been
It's in your
flat
book.
for 20 years.
In your book.
And so,
If you need it.
the 4 program areas that we have are intertwined. They support one another. So let's say, in a world where we say, well, we're just gonna have 4-H, right? And, then the 4-H kids are doing, we've got, health and human sciences educators. We've got Janelle Franks, who's, at the top of your region, who is part of your regional team now to serve you guys. So one of the things she's been going around and doing is youth canning and youth fermentation. And the kids do the project and then they submit it to 4-H and, but it's open to all youth. But it's not like I could say, well, Henry County, you don't get Janelle's service for your youth because you chose to only invest in 4-H. Similarly, like we have, when our 4-H youth go to Roundup or Academy on campus, they participate in, you know, crop workshops, and they participate in, you know, these different program area experiences. And it's not like I could say, hey, Henry County kids, when you go to Roundup or Academy, you can only attend this one workshop because the county didn't invest in these other pieces. So all of these other program areas in extension inform, and our staff do all of our staff do youth programming, even if they're not a 4-H youth educator, they do youth programming. And so there's no way, I can't imagine a world where I could tell like people, no, you can't do that in Henry County. No, Henry County kids can't participate in that. Like I would never want to make that statement.
So an example, the Fayette County A&R is coming here right now. She's here this week, and your school system's doing an 8-week class with the ag students. And then also we're having from Delaware County a 4-H educator. So you see, they are multi-talented, which is so unique. They all wear many different hats. And so we're bringing expertise to your classrooms or to your families. That to me is so valuable. And so that's how this model, and this is how I want to work, is how we bring the best in the region. And what you guys tell me what your needs. I've done a lot of needs assessment over the last 15 years and seeing what communities need. Health and human science, community development. It's just not about youth. There is a plethora. That's why I printed all this off, because I didn't realize this, getting into more community development. So you're getting more than just 4-H is, I guess, what I'm saying. So if I spoke out of turn, sorry.
I guess I've been trying to just sit back and listen and learn.
Yep.
And I don't think anybody up here questions the value of the services.
Right.
But I have a question that I'm hoping you can answer.
Yep.
We neighbor Madison County and Delaware County.
Yes.
Are you at liberty to tell us what they paid last year and what I can see by the population, what their proposal is?
Yeah, public knowledge. I just have to pull that spreadsheet up here.
Because by my calculation, each of those county would be paying $5,000 more than we would be, 145 instead of 140. And Delaware County is bigger than twice our size, and Madison County is almost 3 times our size. So you're going to get a lot more engagement in those counties than here.
For less money.
For $5,000 less money, whoever came up with these population categories, in my mind, really did a disservice to 4-H. So if you don't mind sharing those numbers and how much their bill went up or down, that would be very beneficial from my standpoint.
I'm sorry.
And could we add in there Bartholomew County? Because it's a much, much larger, right?
Oh, sure.
Yep.
I think we're all just, concerned about what, what we would lose if we don't pay the full amount.
Bartholomew's
About
about
like-
85,000.
Yeah.
Delaware is 113.
Okay.
Madison's almost 140.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you said the word equitable, but I don't know that that's very equitable when a county that's more than double our size pays just
$5,000.
$5,000 more. How is that equitable? Because I know that's a word you used multiple times during our conversations in the past. I mean, Delaware County is a prime example. They're just a few miles north of here.
And if it is equitable and we are all to be grouped into this region, then let's all group into this region, have one centralized that takes care of everything, and we pay the amount, and you guys staff the people and take care of it. It feels like you trying to have the best of both worlds, and it does not feel equitable on our side of the fence.
You heard what we did with the ERPC and how that worked. It actually is a per resident charge. That is an equitable number where they charge you X cents per resident of the county. Versus, because if you do the math, my guess is if we math this out, and Shannon's our resident spreadsheet expert. If he mathed it out, I bet you if just the number we're paying now at 58,000 is probably similar to what Delaware is paying per resident at 145,000. So that's a more equitable number. This is not an equitable number. As smaller population counties are paying the bulk of the charges.
Yeah.
So Delaware County in 26 was $100,345. As you mentioned, they're going up to 145. What were the other counties that?
Madison?
More than double the population.
Madison County paid $165,097 last year, and they went down to 145 this year.
With over 3 times the population.
With about 3 times our population, yeah.
But it is not equitable.
Nowhere near. It's almost like somebody stood back and go,
Do a number.
threw a dart. and said, that's what we're gonna do.
I think somebody very strategically came up with these population limits and went and moved it around to try to get a number that they liked.
It
which
wasn't
is-
Mitch Daniels.
Which is just as bad as throwing darts at a dartboard.
Mitch Daniels wouldn't have done
Because I
this.
believe
I
Bartholomew
said it
County,
wasn't Mitch Daniels that came up with this because he's smarter than that.
they're 85,000.
Yeah,
And I believe their numbers either went down or
yeah.
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew County last year paid $142,058. And they went to 145, so it's,
So they went up $3,000.
Yeah.
yeah.
And we,
But they're all within that 5,000 more than, it just doesn't make sense.
and we went up 138%. That is not right. And they pretty much stayed even. We're not getting value for the dollar
Okay.
or per capita.
So if I mathed it out, if we take Delaware County and their population and divided that into their 145,000, our bill should be $62,000.
So the next down.
That's an equitable number.
I mean, I'm happy to bump it down to the next population tier, but that's 135. I don't know that that makes a difference to you guys. Yeah. I
That's
mean,
not going to work.
No, I'm just saying that the numbers aren't equitable. If we math it out per population, the numbers aren't equitable. So I can tell you that I am intimately familiar with several of our colleagues up in Delaware County. Their budget is massively larger than ours in the county level, almost 3 times. So for them to only have to pay $5,000 more when their countywide budget is nearly 3 times ours, you understand our problem. This is not equitable in any way, shape, or form.
This is not equitable for small counties like us. For population of, if you take out Geo, 45,000 people versus way over 100, or Madison County, that's 140,000. And you're asking us to pay $5,000 less than they are. This is what's not equitable.
I've
Yeah.
absolutely taken note of that.
For one more extreme case, could you tell us what Hamilton County is? Because they're just under 400,000 in population. Their bill by your sheet would be $200,000 for the year.
Correct.
What was their previous charge?
30,000. So they went up to
They had a
200,000.
much better deal than we did even in the past.
Well, percentage wise, they got better.
Yeah,
off
that's-
than our-
They had 8 times the population and we're paying less than twice what we were.
And they have, I wouldn't even begin to guess how many more dollars in their budget than we have. It's
Oh,
significant.
Paved of gold.
Yeah, it's the land of milk and honey over there, yeah.
Right. So, and I've absolutely taken note of these comments and can take them back to university leadership. And I misused the word equitable. My intent was to show that we had counties of much smaller sizes like Blackford paying over 130. And then, the other counties that were bigger paying less.
So
So,
when did Blackford start paying 130? Next
no,
year?
No, they
Historically?
131, 335 last year.
So what this is, they were a pilot county.
But you guys were a pilot
Yeah.
county too.
Yeah.
So,
Huh?
Randolph County also paid,
Yeah, you were.
They're half our.
Yeah.
You guys were fine.
Randolph was at 131, the same price as Blackford last year.
So my question
Yeah.
So my question is, so we were a pilot county, Randolph was a pilot county, we paid 58 last year, but Randolph County paid 125 and we were a pilot county?
So there.
How does that work?
Yeah, there were 6 pilot counties: Blackford, Jay, Henry, Delaware, Randolph, and Wayne. And so last year we only tested a structural model. We didn't have a financial model, so everybody just paid last year the same amount essentially they paid the year before. Because the financial model. So the financial model, again, why you guys didn't receive it till when you did is I didn't have one to share before you received it.
You
So
understand?
this is about getting all the counties that were not paying what everybody else was paying
Caught up.
caught up. That's what this is
So
about.
we're now being charged
But
way
now
more.
we're, right, but that's what it is. It's, oh, wait a minute, they weren't, they weren't charging or they weren't paying what everybody else in the region was paying. We've got to get them caught up. That's what this
Okay,
is.
so obviously I want to respect Jenny and her team and, you know, try to get this plane. So, because we're getting to that time. So we have 4 options, truthfully. We have your 3 options, and then the option is just that we say, we know we're not paying that much. We're willing to pay X, and if you guys can't figure that out, then we need to go to Plan B. That is 4 options that we have on the table, because that is the 4th option that obviously Molly's not going to mention, but is my due diligence.
We won't go to her Plan B.
You know, and
Her
so.
second plan, we will not go to.
I understand. I think option 2 is absolutely off the table because there is a lot of life to change between now and April. And there is no guarantee that person, and then I totally agree with Debbie's been intimately involved through how many different kids and grandkids and all these other things through this, more so than any of the rest of us sitting here, I believe. And so we're, trying to staff that office through, and I know Jay said there is no way that office could run through the fair with 1 person. That's absolutely no way. So, and your Plan B never had a single extra person. That person leave in April, nobody's there in July when the fair comes in town.
Part-time.
So
Maybe.
part-time, few part-time, but they always had those few part-time to help supplement during the fair when they had 2 full-time people plus all those other folks that showed up. So Plan B, I totally agree, is out the window. Plan 2 it is. Option 1, again, just a step
85,000.
up, it's still a
It's
significant step up.
85,000 a year.
3 concerns me because we have, yes, it's only it's 75, which is still a significant increase. And that still means we are paying exponentially more than most of our surrounding counties, including the negotiated rates you guys just came up with down in Rush County. Because my understanding is we've gotten numbers from them too. Again, we all talk, so you guys need to realize that.
I mean, I sent the Rush County numbers, so.
I think they increased it they agreed to pay an additional 21,000. I think the original ask was additional 30,000.
It was, their ask was 96.
Yeah.
So
And they said they could not do that,
So they,
but they agreed to,
74,750 for 2027 and 96 for 2028.
and in 2020, what they paid this year? So, so the 20,000, what I was told that they agreed to pay an
So,
additional 20.
Anyway, at the end of the day, I need a recommendation from this body as to what we do. We have the 4 options on the table.
I would-
To either do one of her 3 options or throw back a number that we think we can live with.
I would make a recommendation of 70,000 because I want 4-H to survive. And that's just for this year.
Obviously.
That's half of what they asked.
Obviously, that would be totally at their discretion whether or not they would accept it. And
That's
then
what my
totally,
recommendation is. You asked for
we'll
one.
have to come right back to the table next year to decide if that's what we can do, because we've all seen the numbers. I think next year might tick down slightly more, according to the numbers we have in our.
You asked for a
consultant's package right
recommendation.
here.
My recommendation is
Okay,
70,000.
so we have a recommendation from Kennan at 70,000. Do I have any other recommendations or
But
thoughts?
still, even if we do the recommendation of 70,000, what can they agree that they're gonna give us?
They can come back and
That's-
say nothing.
No, I'm talking about services, with services.
They can't.
It's all or none,
It's-
right? Basically.
No, I
No.
mean, if the count, we recognize the county's like investment and the increase in the investment, even though it's not what
So
was
you're-
requested. The goal would be to maintain in all 92 counties, a local 4-H presence, right? And so would have, like, I can't make any, I don't
Right.
want to make any misrepresent any guarantees, but
This is a contract, right? We have a contract in hand that spells out what's supposed to be provided.
correct, for the agreed upon amount. So the
Right.
3-year step-up plan is, even if you're not paying the full amount for years 1 and 2, it's saying, we can get there by year 2 or 3, depending on the number of years, and like, there's no service reduction. And so if we do a 1-year plan at a reduced rate, we would work with, I've been charged to work with local leaders, and maybe that's with stakeholders, if you guys aren't the appropriate group, you want to appoint people to work with us to determine what those services are.
So I could go with what Kennan's recommending with no service cuts. If that could be put in there with his, with,
Yeah,
go with what we have now.
At least for 2027, so we can move on.
with no service cuts,
Right.
with zero service. cuts.
Zero service.
But
I don't think she's saying she can guarantee
Yeah.
I
that.
know,
Right.
I can assure you, I can't guarantee service cuts because our price of operating and business has
Right.
gone up as well. So we can't
So is ours.
pay for the same amount of people and programs.
So you're in the same predicament that we are.
You're in the exact same
So,
boat.
so you understand that?
Yes.
But you also do get like $16 million from the state. Now, there was a text that went out that said, somebody said that the state cut Purdue Extension's money, which I extensively researched, and the state didn't.
It was everybody.
It was reduced by $900,000. It was not cut out. The way the text read was that it was removed completely.
Oh, like removed from our,
Yeah.
from the biennial budget? No, it was just. removed.
It was reduced by $900,000.
Correct, like every other state.
Bobby, let's try.
Okay, here's what we got to do. We got to get a number in the budget and put it to bed. Do the discussions and negotiations and come back and reappropriate if we have to. But we got to get a number in here.
That's what
We
I
can't
agree.
discuss
And so
services.
Kennan-
We just got to get a number in here.
Kennan's number is 70,000.
And if we just do the budget at 70, she leaves, she knows we're going to have to all talk about it. And if they need more money, then we have to reappropriate
Jay,
next year.
I would like to hear from you.
70,
I don't
yeah.
want to put you in a hot seat, but you're the liaison, so I want to give you the opportunity if you have anything you want to add to the conversation.
I understand everybody's need for increases. I just think that Purdue Extension did Becky a disservice as a new person in this area, charging her with knocking on our door and saying, hey, I'm new. Hi, I'm Becky. I'm now Purdue Extension. And, oh, by the way, we need to triple your contractual services bill. I think that was a disservice by Purdue Extension for that. I also understand that they've experienced a lot of federal cuts coming to Purdue Extension. Yes, the state of Indiana basically, yes, there was a reduction. That was a minimal reduction in a $16 million budget. I understand that the majority of that reduction come on the Fed level. But as, my grandson is a 5th generation 4-H'er. That is important to my family. That is important to a lot of families in Henry County. I realize that's not the only youth activity in Henry County. There are a lot of things that our children and grandchildren can do in Henry County. But I think as we as a whole look at what Purdue Extension can give these children and the type of children or what these children can do and successful in their life, I think is important for us to consider. That investment in, it's no different than some children participating in football and basketball and in band things, those kind of things. These are the things that agricultural families choose to do and further the education of the children in those families.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it is important that we continue this, but the cost cannot override that importance. I think we as an organization, we as the council, the funding body here in Henry County, have to be cognizantly aware of what our limitations are. And I stress that, this isn't last year. Had they appeared before us last year, it probably would have been a feasible thing to have at least tried for a year. And here we are already looking at cutting some of the things that we did last year. Yeah. And the unknown of the next 2 years in our future. We have to keep that in mind. And thus, I think I could never agree with option 1. I think option 2, there's no way. As you said, there are way too many unknowns. And It just pains me to see not only 4-H, but some of the adult services programs, Safe Serve program, that I know, and that is more important than most of us realize here in this county. Something that I've been able to take advantage of years past was, ladies, you would have to help me out with this, but the spraying thing. You know, I'm a certified sprayer through that program. That was important to me, that I wasn't going out and spraying my neighbor's side ditches and doing that wrong. I wouldn't want that liability on me myself. So that was an important thing that I reached out and did. I can tell you that I've had pounded into my head since I was a kid, by my grandmother and my aunts and my mother, the homemakers part. That I've seen that participation. One of my sisters is an instructor in Hancock County, another county I know. But, you know, she does that in homemakers. I hate to see these programs go, but I also, as a councilman, am charged with distributing the tax dollars that we're given. That makes it hard. And that cut on that tax dollar, we have to distribute those tax dollars the best that we see fit. And unfortunately, at this point, I understand what we're charged with in doing this year, and I agree with Kennon's.
All right.
Can I
A
add one?
long
Jay,
way
thank you.
around to that, but I agree with Kennon's.
One,
Short time, because I really want to
know.
respect Jenny's time.
my recommendation is precisely 19% increase, and it's also $6,000 less than $6,000 more than what you said, which was a 10%. So it's kind of an in-between, but we're cutting everybody.
All right.
And-
So
And I think that's a stretch for us to come up with 70,000.
And I would, with that, volunteer as the liaison to work with this group to see
well,
how we can best.
if we can make a deal, I was going to ask to do that, but I also think we need to involve some of the board and some of the families to be involved in all of this too, because that's where the importance lies. So Molly, before I take a consensus of my team, if we come back at $70,000, is that something you think we can work with?
I mean, that, I'm gonna have to take that to my financial department and to like literally the government affairs and the president of the university. I can say we want to partner with you and ensure that there are services here. We will figure out how to get there with $70,000. I just don't know if it's gonna match what you guys
Well,
want.
again, at the end of the day, if you really want to make it equitable, we should actually pay less than that per population. And so I think we are being more than generous in coming back with the numbers when you compare us to our donut counties that are significantly larger. And I'm going to take a consensus of my friends up here and we'll see where we land. Kenan, 70,000, you made the recommendation. Scott, Jay.
Yes.
Yes. I'm also yes. So we're going to offer $70,000 as a contractual agreement. I'm sure the commissioners, I don't see a reason why the commissioners will have any issue with that. We'll clarify it with them because they're the ones that actually sign the contract. They are meeting with us later this afternoon. So our offer is $70,000 funding 4-H to hope to continue as much as possible. We ask that you put together a committee that includes our liaison from the council as well as members of the office here and board members and any family members that want to be involved, as well as Becky, of course. Because we want to make sure that we can get as much of the programming that the community desires as possible, but also live within the means that we have.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
There were a couple of things that you guys had requested to follow up with you on. What are the documents that I can send you guys?
I think I'd like to see that spreadsheet that you showed. I know Bobby asked for specifically the data on the program and also the list of participants on the programs.
Participant names. They don't.
Well, I mean, Becky does, according to her. She has the 550 some people. So yeah, and you can send that to our generalized county council email It's just countycouncil@henrycounty.in.gov.
Give me this and get another one from Presley.
Okay.
Right, countycouncil@henrycounty.com.
.in.gov. Yeah.
Henry County, all one word.
Yeah.
Henry County.
.in.gov.
Yeah. County Council at Henry County.
County.in.gov.
Jenny, I'm sorry, we're wrapping up, I promise. We do have one further question, so don't run away. And this was a discussion that we had yesterday. There was talks of moving the office. I don't know where that stands. It's not put in the numbers. There's no numbers been built in. There's nothing to change the offices to the Expo Center. Is that something that you guys have any knowledge about whatsoever? Because there are no numbers put anywhere for that.
There's
Nothing to do with it.
yeah.
I understand, but I'm just saying that is something that
they
needs to be
don't
clarified
have a-
because their offices are going to be there as well. So that is something that needs to be clarified because we have no plans to pay utilities or things for other offices.
So, yeah, and so then we would need to stay in the county building because
Okay.
we can't pay for that. Yeah, so we would
That's-
want to stay in the county building. Yeah.
That's all we need to clarify because that was brought up yesterday. So I wanted to make sure and clarify that with you guys.
Absolutely. Yep. Well,
Is there any other, there's nothing else in this budget other than that. So,
right.
okay, we'll just,
Are we gonna go ahead and cut the 1,000 and the 250 though, just for the record? We do want to be a good partner and we would.
so you're wanting to cut 250 out of travel, take that to 250 and cut the 1,000 out of the
Supplies.
office supplies?
Yep.
Cut that down to 2250.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Right.
And then we're going to cut 70,000 out of the contractual services line.
Great.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Have a great
it.
day.
Sorry, I know this was not fun.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too. Drive careful.
Hope to see you all.
Yes, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Jenny, I'm sorry. We tried. That was a tough one. Promise yours is going to be a lot easier. Yes, it is. No, there's nothing in Jenny's budget.
What is?
Number one, she's lucky number one.
Lucky.
Jenny is always lucky number one. Yes, please, if you can.
In the middle, Jenny.
Well, see, you actually came. See, Debbie said, nope, it's Kelly. I know, but
I'm gonna take notes.
You're gonna take notes?
Thank you.
oh, I can tell you that Chad didn't use his highlighter once in this one, so. Oh, come on, Kenan, be nicer. Obviously, we still have no idea what we're doing on raises. You understand you heard the arm wrestle we just went through. The place we're in and we're trying to do everything we can to cut. I know your department, you've always done a great job. You actually took employees out years ago, restructured. There's a lot of things that's gone on in there. I didn't see anything in her budget that I had question on. Is there anybody that had anything? Kenan, you said you used your marker?
Well, I did, but it was longevity and that doesn't apply, but you put a 3% raise in as a placeholder. Your total
Honestly,
budget was only 2.67% increase.
I never look at longevity because
I know.
that always get calculated and that's
Right.
always a guarantee. So
I
when
agree
I
with
go
you.
through my budgets, I'll tell you the truth, I never even look at that line item. I
I,
just skip it because it has to be.
it went
factored
up and I
properly.
didn't even see that was longevity. or
you
I'm sorry
have-
For taking up.
We
30
have the
seconds of
election
your life.
board, which is, what's the fund number? I can't remember that one.
62.
Yeah,
And it's being region.
yeah. And we do have city election next year. So there is a city election next year. So we do have an election to contend with and there's more than enough in here and to take care of that. And then we get do we get reimbursed back for that, right?
Vendors even bill the city directly, which is.
So I know you put that in our budget, but then potentially that gets brought back to the general fund eventually.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions on that?
I did, you were one of my assistant principals. That's because I never had to go see you.
Oh. I thought maybe you had to go
see him. That's why you remembered him.
Yes.
Oh. Additional questions about the 62? Or the one, and then you have a perpetuation fund. And again, that's 1119.
$100,000 out there for digitizing.
Right, when the next clerk takes over, she's gonna look at digitizing our records. Hopefully the vendors have come up with a better way of digitizing than what we've seen in the past. Get user friendly for the courts, the staff.
And I know that the recorder's office did that years ago and started when Linda was here and continued through Lisa. That's out of the perpetuation funds.
We've done that at the auditor and commissioners and council minutes. And
Yeah, I think it's all been, that's something that's been pretty SOP, so, yeah. Any other questions about the
Just-
perpetual?
Refresh my memory, what's the 4D fund for?
Is the prosecutor, it's federally funded.
Yeah.
40 is federally funded for.
Okay.
And it's limited and it's in its scope. It's very limited in its scope, if I remember right, correct? So very limited in what the funds can be used for, must be used for the related funding source. And again, that pretty much stayed the same. Went slightly up in professional services, but again, minimally, 10%. So,
I do have a question on the 1217 fund.
all right, let's back up to 1217.
Are each agency supposed to sign off on that, or I just need to budget for everybody? Okay.
Yeah, we did one budget for everybody and they put 3,000 in for your budget.
Right, right.
That is, we did have a discussion on that fund though, because the fund is getting depleted. So it is something we're probably gonna have to address. Next year, we felt like we would be okay, but the following year is probably gonna have to be looked at
We
differently.
learned at our last conference that each office was supposed to appropriate the amount of money for each year, and I'm like, we've never done that.
So Debbie did, we can get you a copy of this, but, yeah,
We needed,
you got one? Yeah, so.
she emailed us a copy. I didn't know.
Yeah, so I don't think anything else has to be done from them on that aspect, since she already did it for every office. She spelled out every single office and put it in there. So I don't think there's anything more that'll have to be done for Kelly next year. You'll just have to submit the bills to that line item. And then if we get close, then we need to come back and we'll probably have to do an additional and we'll have to see where we're at, to see what we have to do and then get creative from there.
Well, I guess there could be an additional.
If there is, that's why I say we'll have to see where we're at and then get creative from there if we're not there. So, because I know every single thing we do now, I mean, I know I travel a lot and hotel rooms has just gone through the roof. And it's crazy expensive to go to some of these places like French Lick and some of these other places have just gotten to be insane on their price and their hotels and stuff. Yep. Ladies, any other questions? See, I told you it'd be a lot easier than the last one. You guys got.
I think it's way too easy compared with the prior. Good luck
I'd
in
ask
the
everybody to
election.
try to cut something. Is there absolutely anywhere that you think you could cut out of the general fund? Because we are desperate. I know you guys have done a very good job. in the past.
2.66 per increase is pretty good. Thank you for your service. You've
How long
been
have you been at the county?
great.
26 years.
I'll be saying that to Debbie in a few months, but you're here. And
Few years.
I'm glad,
Tired, enjoy it. I love it.
and finally, I'm glad I didn't have to paddle you and
Go to Adeline's golf meet yet? You should go. It's fun to watch her and Justin together. That's worth going in itself. All right. Thank you. You know where to find us. We appreciate you guys and everything you do. Thank you. All right. Hey, we got back, we managed to land the plane before the lunchtime.
We're over schedule. We get, oh, we not either. We still have 4 minutes.
We do have 4 minutes, so we can, Mike says we got 4 minutes that we can address other things.
Hey, I want to make a comment on the 4-H deal.
Do you want to shut it? All right, we're gonna hang on.